Hello, welcome to the What to Expect 2020 training series, Making the Death Certificate Process Easier, Training for Certifiers. Today's agenda, we will be going over system basics, roles in system access, work queues, determining whether a physician or coroner is responsible for the medical portion of the record, step-by-step navigation, how to create and note and upload documents, overrides and legal timelines, and our What to Expect brochure. The system basics. The system requires that you use a PC only to operate the EDRS. At this time, we are unable to have you use the EDRS on a Mac or a tablet. The only browser that you can use is Internet Explorer, not Chrome, Firefox, or Microsoft Edge. Please note that Microsoft Edge and Internet Explorer look very similar to one another. On the next slide, I will show you how to differentiate between the two. When you are installing the EDRS on your work machine, please note that you may not have administrative rights to make changes on your computer. Please contact the IT department at your facility to help you with the install of the EDRS. When you are using your personal machine, it is 3 simple steps to install the EDRS onto your computer. It should take no more than 4 minutes to do using these 3 steps. Step 1. Add the website address to your compatibility view settings. Step 2. Add the website address to your trusted sites. Step 3. Download and run the prerequisites. This option is displayed at the bottom of the login page. When you select a browser to use the EDRS, please make sure that you check the top right-hand corner near the red X. If you see a small gear as shown here, you are in Internet Explorer and are in the correct browser. If you see anything different other than the gear, including 3 small dots, you may be in the wrong browser, so please close out and open Internet Explorer. Roles in system access. Can my assistant have access? You can designate a point person to oversee incoming death records to ensure timeliness and accountability. There are several types of roles. The first role is oversight of physicians by a physician who can see, enter, and sign death records for the facility. They may also see who is assigned to a record, reassign the record, and see the timeliness of their direct reports and facility staff. The next type of role is oversight by a facility practice manager or an office manager who can see and enter information but cannot sign. They may also see who is assigned to a record, reassign a record, and see the timeliness of their direct reports and facility staff. The next type of role is a physician, APRN, coroner, or medical examiner who can see, enter, and sign the record. The last type of role is the assistant, who may enter details of the record but cannot sign. Please note that anyone with this type of role must have their own login. No logins may be shared. If you forget your password, or if you change your emails, or move or need to add a facility, please email ovrhelp@health.nv.gov. Please use the email address that you put on your initial application. This is how we authenticate you. A confirmation email will be sent to you with your username, a temporary password if requested, our website address, and installation instructions. This is the home page for the EDRS. Please note the message of the day. The Office of Vital Records will update the message of the day to include messages such as planned system maintenance, or if there are other updates and changes that you need to be aware of. So when you log into the EDRS, please be sure to review the message of the day. Here is a brief summary of Certifier work queues. On the next screen, I will go over them further in detail. The first work queue is the location medical in progress. These are all records at the facility you are logged into. Please note, you will see records that do belong to other certifiers when you are in this queue. Personal medical in progress are all of the records assigned to you regardless of facility. Physician fetal death are all fetal death records where you are assigned. Physician ready to sign are all records that are ready for you to sign. Physician reject reassign are all records that have been rejected back to you that require correction. We have in-program assistance from the CDC. It is a cheat sheet that was established in 2003 to help with determining natural causes. It is located in the system. Simply go on Help at the top of the screen and select Completing COD Natural Causes. There are two lists. The very bottom list contains medical terms that will require a coroner review, while the middle list contains medical terms that require more etiology. Registrars are required to reject any record that has terms from either of these lists. If all the causes of death are listed on the middle list, list unknown etiology as the final cause at the end of the sequence. Here is a preview of the natural causes sheet from the CDC. On the right-hand side, you can see the top list that shows all causes of death that would require further etiology. If you do not know the etiology after this cause of death, please put unknown etiology. The smaller bottom list is causes of death that would require an immediate coroner review. The CDC also has a cause of death app. It is available in the iPhone and Android store. Simply search CDC cause of death and search for the orange CDC icon. This is a great resource to help answer questions, provide examples, and provide any guidelines for the cause of death. Now, for the physician or coroner, we will determine certain causes of death on who should be responsible for the medical portion of the record. If the decedent died at home with no hospice care, it is a coroner case. If they died at home with hospice care, it is the hospice physician. If they died of pancreatic cancer, it is a physician's case. If they died of the flu and was being treated for heart disease, it is a physician case. If it is a drug overdose, it is a coroner case and specific drugs must be listed. If they had a fall at home, it is a coroner case. Who is the certifier? Determining who completes the death record. The law specifically separates this duty between the physician and the coroner. It comes down to whether the death was attended or not. The death is attended by the following. The deceased had been examined or treated, was prescribed medications, or provided care by the physician or APRN within 180 days preceding death, or was pronounced dead by a registered nurse or physician assistant, or was diagnosed by a physician or APRN as having an anticipated life expectancy of not more than 6 months. A death is considered not attended if the deceased had been under a physician or APRN's care, but the cause of death was unrelated to the physician's or APRN's diagnosis and treatment, then the county coroner or the medical examiner must be called in. The death is also considered not attended if the decedent passed away at home without hospice care. Now we will go on to the Certifier tab. This is where you will see the type, which is a physician or an APRN, as well as your name, which was selected by the funeral home and the facility that you are associated with, which will then fill out your degree, your license number, and your facility address. At the very bottom, you will see Certifier, and it will ask for military time of death. And please fill out if the time is approximate yes or no. And if you tab over, the time of death should automatically go to 12-hour time. Under the Cause of Death tab, first enter whether it is a pending investigation or not. In most cases, it will not be a pending investigation. You will then enter yes or no for death due to a communicable disease, and then you will enter the causes of death in order. The immediate cause will always be listed first. The approximate intervals are not required. At the bottom of the Cause of Death tab, you may enter other significant conditions contributing to death. You may enter more than one in this box. However, in the previous screen, you may only enter one cause of death per line. And you will enter, was there an autopsy? Did tobacco contribute to the use of death? And please fill out the if female section. So, if they were pregnant within the last year, not pregnant at time of death, not pregnant but pregnant within 42 days of death, not pregnant but pregnant 43 days and 1 year before death. You may choose not applicable if they are younger than the age of 10 and older than the age of 55. If they fall within that time frame, please choose one of the other options above, and all males will default to not applicable. Here you will enter whether the coroner was contacted to review or work the case. On the Cause of Death Continue tab, simply select Natural Causes. On the Signatures tab, you will go to the middle of the page under Physician Signing Certificate. It will ask Medical Info Complete. You will hit Yes and Tab. The date and your name will autofill. This is you verifying the information you have entered is correct. When you hit Yes and Tab, it'll say Date Signed. This is you acknowledging to apply your digital signature to the record. Once you are complete, please click the small floppy disk on the top right-hand corner to save the record. Once you have done that, it'll ask you to confirm the date of death. You will select Yes. It will then move on to confirm the time of death and to confirm. If you do not wish to confirm the date or time of death if they are incorrect, just click No and it will take you back to the screen to make those changes, and then you will re-sign and save the record. And for rejections, the state or local registrar may reject a record back to the certifier. A rejection for cause of death does not mean the statement is wrong from a clinical standpoint, but may lack information required by the CDC. The certifier should receive an email notifying them of the rejection, which explains the reason. The record will show in the Physician APRN Reject Reassign Work Queue. The Reject tab in the record should indicate the reason for the rejection. Rejections will clear all signatures. When corrected, the record will need to be re-signed and saved. You may also reject a record back to the funeral home if the record does not belong to you and you do not know the patient. Please note that the short comment box on the left-hand side will only fit 1 to 2 sentences, so please be brief when explaining your reject reason, or you may enter in a note to provide further explanation, which I will show you how to do later in the PowerPoint. In order to create a note, you can do it from 2 places. You can go to the top and click Actions, Show Notes, or you may simply right-click at the bottom blue bar and click Show Notes. You will then be shown a note screen. Click the gray New button to create your note. Please keep your notes professional. Remember that anyone who has access to this record can read your notes. Once you are complete, click the Save button, and the bar will then turn gold. This means you have saved your note and you may exit. If you exit the record and go back into it, on the bottom blue bar you will see an icon that says Note Present. Simply double-click this icon to access all notes within this record.